All right, you
Oh,
should be
God.
live.
Okay.
Benny,
Yes,
because I'm screen sharing, I'm unable to open the chat.
I should be able to open the chat.
And it's not letting me.
I've opened it. Are we live recording this?
Yeah,
It's going to be recorded.
we're not recording, it's live, so someone has to hit the record button.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask because I'm supposed to be monitoring the chat, but I can open the chat, but not the Q&A section.
I just made you co-host, so you should be able to open the Q&A. Unless that's only for hosts and alternative hosts.
I still can't. Let me see what happens if I do this. Okay, I can see it now. Maybe it's because I'm screen sharing. Gian, are you able to screen share? I know you mentioned you wanted to.
I can't because I'm only on my phone right now. So when you send the link, it was only from messages, iMessage. So, and I clicked on the link that I registered for, but it took me to a different one.
Yeah, let me see if I can open Q&A again one more time. Okay, I can open it this time. All right, we're good. Let's go ahead and get started.
All right.
Oh, I see. Let us know when you're ready, Benny.
So second I hit record, you guys could begin
All right, Edith, get ready.
in about 5 seconds.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Our team and I have worked very hard to get this presentation ready for y'all, and it's basically to education on how to vote safely in 2020. And I am Edith. I'm a senator at Bakersfield College. I'm also a student. My major is business administration with a minor in Spanish. And my overall educational goal is to pursue law school. So with that being said, I'm gonna pass it down to Gian so he can do a brief introduction of himself.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gian Gayatao. I'm the BCSGA president. I'm a second-year student majoring in history. And so I'll be passing it on to our last presenter, Crystal, for her introduction.
Hey guys, I'm Crystal Knox. I'm a senator here at BC. This is my first year. I am majoring. I plan to pursue a STEM degree, and I just recently decided to major in the Japanese language as well. And I'll pass it on to Emma, President Emma McNellis.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Emma McNellis. I'm the BCSGA Vice President. And I am here. I'm not here to present. I will be presenting next week at a future webinar, but I will be monitoring the chat and the questions. So if anyone who is here watching has any questions, feel free to put it in the Q&A portion of our webinar, and I will make sure one of our presenters or myself addresses it. With that, I'll pass it back to Edith. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you all for being here. We're very excited to have you. And okay, next slide, please. We're gonna go ahead and get started with our presentation. So how to register to vote? Well, anybody that's, what is the term, Emma?
Eligible.
There you go. Anybody that's eligible. So there's certain criteria that you have to meet before being able to register. So anybody that's eligible can register to vote. In fact, you can register to vote in the same day. And here are the steps. So first you have to find your assigned polling location. So how do you do that? You can visit findmypollingplace.sos.california.gov, and it'll tell you where in your area you can go. And then after that, you go to that location, you register, and you can vote there. Sorry. Third, once you're registered, you can fill out your ballot at your assigned polling. Oh, I just said that. Sorry. And there you have it. You voted, but it's also important to note that your vote will be conditional until your registration has been approved. If you don't take your ballot with you, if it was mailed to you and you don't take it to the polling center with you, then so what conditional means is that it'll take a little bit longer for them to count it, just to make sure that you didn't vote twice. Next slide, please. So why you should vote? Voting is your opportunity as a citizen to have a voice in the future direction of your city, your state, and your country. Voting is your chance to ensure your leaders reflect your values. Furthermore, it's at every level, and it's important that even though you feel that you can make a change, within like the president, but you can definitely make a change within your city, and getting to know the candidates and what they're doing, and just getting involved. And if you can get involved at that level, then at least vote and get engaged, because it is important, especially under these times where there's been so many voting oppression, I guess, suppression, that it's been so complicated and hard because of COVID and other factors. So get out there and vote. Next, please, Emma.
Would you mind if I added something to this slide as well?
Please.
So I just wanted to add the fact that, eligible voters aged 18 to 24, we tend to have very low voter turnout. Historically, we are one of the lowest, we've had the lowest numbers of voters that actually turn out to vote. And I would just like to mention that, we have such an impact because we have such large numbers. Us college students aged 18 to 24, there are a lot of us out there, but a lot of us don't get out the vote. And so something that I would like to add to this slide is that, we have the chance to change that statistic. We have the chance to really make an impact if we use our voices the way that we are able to. And so that's just what I wanted to add to this slide. Thank you, Edith. Back to you.
Thank you. And I did see that we have a question on the group chat. And Laura, can you please answer this question?
Sure. So provisional voting is where you're able to vote, but they don't count your ballot right away. And what they're doing is that they're double checking to make sure that your registration went through. So if you are registering the same day as the election, they're wanting to make sure that all of that goes through, that you're, you have the right address and that you're currently a resident of this county, that kind of thing. Also, like, let's say you're voting provisionally because you forgot to bring your blank ballot with you on election day. What will happen is they want to make sure you haven't voted twice, like if you've already mailed in your mail-in ballot. So basically what provisional means is that they're not going to count it right away. They're going to hold on to it until that they can check a couple of things. And then once they check it, then they will count your ballot. So hopefully that helps.
Thank you so much, Laura. Yeah, and then I think also like other special cases is if you move cities, like from Nevada to California, and none of your stuff has been verified by the DMV. That's one of the cases I can think of. But that's basically it. Thank you. Okay. So now I'll go ahead and pass it down to Gian.
Senator Crystal Knox will actually be presenting this slide for us.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
All right, so where to find your polling location? I'm going to read this. To see your designated locations, visit the California Secretary of State's webinar and use the voting information tool at this link right here. When you click it, it's going to ask for your email address, and you're going to type it in, and it's going to show you where you can vote near your area. My location's at Veterans Elementary, so I just go there to vote. I've been going there, and if you don't want to search it through the internet, you can also call an elementary school near you, or you can call a junior high school near you, and they can tell you if they're going to have polling stations this year at their school. And next slide, please. And then how to vote before Election Day. Voted ballots can be mailed back. No postage necessary. Make sure to sign the envelope before you do that. And then ballots can be dropped off in person at the election office at this location, 1115 Truxtun Avenue, a satellite election office, or a curbside drop-off event as well. And I will pass it on to Gian, President Gian.
All right, next slide, please. So as Crystal mentioned, you could either drop, when you have your ballot with you already filled out and ready to be submitted, you could submit it at the county local elections office on 115 Truxtun Avenue. And you could also drop it off at these designated ballot drop-off events on certain dates and times in our Kern County libraries available on Arvin, rural areas, as well as CAF, Tehachapi, and on these locations designated here. So, you know how voting can be especially hectic during election day. So because of that, the Kern County Elections Office has set these satellite offices to offer any assistance for voters when they need to drop off their ballots, or in the case of their ballots getting broken or lost. They can come on to you can still come on to these satellite offices in these dates and times and locations so that you can get the assistance you need to still be able to vote. And like Eva mentioned earlier, your vote will be counted as provisional or conditional. So provisional and conditional voting is the same thing. They just do it so to process your identification, to approve and identify where you actually live and whether you are voting in the right district. Moving on, next slide, please. And then, so if you ever missed the registration deadline that was 2 days ago, October 19th, so usually if you have already registered, the state has sent out your mail-in ballots. Mail-in ballots that come in the mail, and when you open it, you're going to receive your official voting ballot, your official ballot, and also as well as a sample ballot and a sticker on how to vote. Only use a black pen or blue, and no red pens or markers, and sign on the designated spot on the envelope, and that's when you're ready to drop it off at these locations. Also available, sent to you, are guides on the propositions. That'll be really helpful for you to decide whether or not to vote yes or no on our ballot measures that will affect our state's day-to-day functions, as well as in the long run. And also, you will receive a sample ballot, and located on the back. Oh, sorry about that. Located on the back of that sample ballot is your designated polling place. And if you don't have yet that polling place, or you don't have your ballot yet, you can come to the elections office, like we mentioned earlier, and you can still register to vote. And then on election day, you could still register on election day. You can go to kernvote.com or the Secretary of State's office to register. And again, your vote will be conditional until it's proven and identified and approved by the elections office. And next slide, please. So how to vote in person. So our polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And so when you come to your polling place, you will go in line and you will be asked to identify and verify your name and your address. And you also will be checked if you are on the current roster of that designated polling precinct or place. And then you will be provided with a marking pen and also a secrecy sleeve so that you can vote safely. And also, it is really important to know that you must bring the ballot that was mailed to you if you choose to vote in person, so that the county elections office can make sure that you are not voting twice, and that your vote is counted only once. And that's how you can also call your county elections office or your designated polling places if you ever need assistance with curbside voting or any other accessibility options that they provide. Next slide, please. So how to vote safely on election day. So if you choose to vote in person, our polling places are still following the CDC guidelines on social distancing. We recommend that you wear masks still to protect yourself and others. And although we really can't prevent anyone from voting without a mask. So we highly recommend that if you can vote early or you can vote through mail, and so that you can be safe in harnessing your voice and submitting your ballot. We highly recommend that. Protect yourself, protect others, and have that opportunity to be able to participate in this really core, important pillar of our democracy. And so with that, we'll be accepting any questions from our members of the audience of this webinar. Thank you for coming. I hope that we're able to present to you some helpful information that can help you vote safely and effectively before or during election day. I think Emma, do you have any questions in the chat?
There was one from Estrella, but Laura already answered it. She looked it up and got the answer already. So thank you
Sorry.
for that. No, that's a good thing.
I
Thank
know.
you for that, Victoria.
But we might as well say it for the recording. So the question was about why are there holes in the envelope where you put your ballot in? There's like a couple of holes, and she wanted to know why. And I didn't even know either. So I looked it up, and it looks like it has to do with just how they're processed. When the office actually starts sorting through them, those holes can help. So I put the link to an article that talks about it if anybody is interested in taking a look.
Thank you so much for that, Laura. You're awesome. So we'll go ahead and open up the floor. If there were any other questions from any of our other attendees at this time, you're welcome to put them in the Q&A or in the chat, and we will get an answer for you one way or the other, as Laura has just shown. All right, I'm not seeing any more questions, but while we're waiting for more questions, oh, I see a chat. There is a question from Jocelyn Green. She asked, would you guys mind if about 2 pictures of your slides go into the Renegade Rip newspaper? Oh, of course, that would be awesome. No, we would not mind. I was actually planning to link these slides in the chat at the end of this webinar. So if you would like to take that and choose whichever slides you'd like, you are welcome to. No problem. All right, so while we're waiting for any other questions, I'd just like to take this opportunity to provide another shameless plug for our future events. We We have another event tonight at 6:00 p.m. Hosted by Laura Louise, the one and only. She will be talking about fake news in the election. She has a really great presentation for us. So if you guys would like to tune in, that will be tonight at 6 p.m. if you are able to. If you are here through the Discord, I will put that link in the Discord again. And we will also be having a third and fourth webinar on October 28th. Again, there will be one at 1 p.m. There will be a presentation similar to this one about how to vote safely in 2020. And at 6:00 p.m., we will have a very in-depth discussion of understanding the 2020 ballot measures. We'll be going through the different candidates for president, the different candidates for House of Representatives, depending on your district, of course. And then we will go through the propositions. And I'm really looking forward to that one. So please feel free to tune in if you are able to. And I'm not seeing any more questions in the chat. So
There's one.
Oh, there is.
That's a good point. So Joshua brings up that the ballot that you get in the mail and the ballot that you do end up voting on election day are the same thing. So if you have time, it might just be better off for you just to fill it out anyway, and that way you can just drop it off, and then you don't have to wait in any kind of long line to sit there and then do something that you could have done at home beforehand. So he's absolutely right. It would, if you have the time, I suggest going ahead and filling the ballot out at home. And that way you can take as long as you need on it. And there's a ton of online resources at your disposal that you can look at as you're going through the ballot, including a link to my guide that I just put in the chat box, which has a ton of information. All the stuff that was presented today is on there. Lots of links to other resources, including what we're going to be focusing on next week. So it was the link that I just put in about a minute ago. It's called Get Out the Vote. Sorry to interrupt, Emma.
No, you're all good. That was great. Yes, thank you for that point. I completely agree. It's very important. So yeah, with that, I think we'll go ahead and give maybe another 30 seconds for any more last minute questions. And I'll go ahead and leave it up to the presenters. Did you guys have anything else to add to this presentation?
I'd just like to say thank you, everyone, for coming. Like Mr. I think Josh Roberts said, just if you can, to save you the inconvenience of just having to stand in line, fill it out early. Go vote early at your early polling place if you want to. Get it in the mail. Be informed when you vote. Make sure to research your candidates, propositions, and measures, and just vote. It is our right. It's our power. It's our voice, and it's really important that we engage and empower ourselves to have our civic duty for our for our country, for our cities, for everything that's on the line in this election. So thank you for coming, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
All right, thank you all. I think that's going to conclude our webinar for today. I hope to see you all at 6 and maybe next week. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.